So are we waking up? We're going crazy. Because you know how when you start really waking up, certain people think you're crazy. And you know how, like, if you went to certain people and you told them what you really thought, what you really believe, they might send your ass to a psych ward. You know what I'm talking about. And you're probably the kind of person, if you resonate with me, you spend a lot of time alone. More and more, probably these days, I would imagine. So, there's a reason for all of this. It's a common talking point on a lot of different YouTube channels I've checked out, which to me is a very good sign, because I know I'm not the only one. Right? It's part of my intention with making videos like this is just so if you're another one, just know that there's more of you out there. Like, if you feel alone, know that you're not, man. You might, like, the people like us, we might be scattered. We might be scattered around all over the planet right now. But there's others, right? And we do have this platform where we can reach each other and we can kind of give each other confirmation that yes, in fact, what you're going through is normal and it's natural and it's part of this awakening process, and you're not crazy, right? Certain things, like, I can't even really get into, in depth on this, because, man, first of all, either way the algorithm is and the way that censorship is nowadays, there's certain things you just can't get into detail about. But my perspective on that is that, the time for us to be, like, trying to wake people up is over. That's kind of my feeling. Because at the end of the day, man, it's generally not an individual. It's not a human. It's not a human being that truly wakes up another person, that brings somebody to the truth. It's God that does that. It's a spiritual thing, and God calls on certain people. Not everybody responds, but those that respond are chosen, and those people end up receiving this information. They end up going through this awakening process, and you start to realize how much is going on in the realm, how much the forces of darkness and the forces of good, it's like Satan's army and God's army kind of at war here. It's like this holy war thing that's talked about in scripture and in a lot of ancient traditions. It's like, it's real. You come to that realization. It's very real. And so, man, I'm on a very long drive right now, so I thought I'd just make a video, share my thoughts with you guys, because it just keeps getting weirder and weirder and weirder, in a good way. And it's got to be a good way, man, because how I see it's like there's this splitting apart of worlds happening, and I've used this analogy before, but it's like this sinking ship, and it's like the world and the ways of the world, the ways of the wicked. It's like I see it like it's a sinking ship, man. I see it all just kind of crumbling, and I think everybody feels that on some level, whether you're in the world or whether you've exited the world, in that sense that you're not, you're still physically here, but you're not, like, spiritually, mentally, you're on another wavelength, yet you're still here. You're still amongst these people that haven't quite figured this out yet. And these people seem like they're strapped to the ship and they're going to go down with it. And it's hard to have that knowledge and stay happy, but at the same time, because we are in this other wavelength, you know, we now are accessing this like sustainable level of joy and contentment and peace because we're cultivating this relationship with God through our spiritual practice, through semen retention, stuff like that. So it's this mixture, you know, and it talks about in scripture, like, with wisdom comes sorrow. And that's kind of what I mean. It's like the sorrow part is having the awareness that, like, this worldly thing is kind of like at the end of its reign, and there'll be cycles. You know, I do believe these things happen in cycles, but it's like we're clearly at the end of a cycle. You know, it's just very clear. And so yeah, I just wanted to be like another person out here reflecting that truth, so that, you know, when you're having these realizations yourself, other people are having them too, and you aren't going crazy if that's what other people want to try and convince you of. And that's why it's really important, I think, nowadays, more and more so, to be very, very selective about who it is that you do share information with. Because if people are going to hear what you have to say and just try and, like, throw shade on it or look at you like you're crazy, it's really a waste of energy. And it might even kind of like pull you down a little bit. You know, it might be kind of like discouraging. Whereas to share energy with people of like mind has the opposite effect, right? So it's important. It's important for us to stay connected with our like minds. So that's all I got. Long drive, lots of traffic, man. Sedona on the weekend. But I go here to get fresh spring water, and it's worth it. It's totally worth it. I love me some fresh spring water straight out of the earth, man. None of this plastic endocrine disrupting, you know, definitely not out the tap. I think you guys already know. All right. That's all for this one. Peace.